Before I tell you how I managed to wake up at 5:50 a.m. every single morning for as long as a year and a half, let me tell you about one advanced goal-setting strategy that was introduced several years ago by Eben Pagan. This strategy is called inevitability thinking. Traditional goal-setting works as long as you work. There are ways to make goal-setting easier and more fun, but at the end you have to consciously apply the effort and take consistent action to achieve your goals. But for humans, it is not so easy to change behavior. It is not easy to do consistently what you need to do. We get a lot of resistance from our inner part that doesn't like change, and often from our closest ones as well. There is always a chance that you can go off track, that you can get distracted. Traditional goal setting doesn't guarantee you anything. Your outcome totally depends on your effort, your ability to focus, and your determination. So, Eben proposed an alternative approach. He invited to ask ourselves a question. How can I make it so the outcome that I want to achieve is inevitable? Once you ask this question, your desired outcome stops being a goal that you need to work towards, and it is not a problem anymore that you need to figure out how to solve. It becomes something that you're inevitably going to experience. It is a very interesting question to ask yourself. Once you've asked this question, your mind starts going in completely different track. It starts spinning in other direction. The whole new set of ideas start to come up. Your creative part gets actively involved to answer this question. The major thing that happens once you ask this question is that you start caring about all the potential unknowns and you start seeing all the possible obstacles. Inevitability is all about external conditions. It is about setting up a certain conditions in place so that what you want to get happens automatically. This condition ensures the inevitable result. I used this technique when I decided I need to wake up early several years ago. I asked myself, how do I make this inevitable that I wake up at 6 a.m. sharp no matter what? The answer came up immediately. Make a deal with my brother where I have to email him an email every single morning before 6 a.m. or otherwise I give him $10. I hated this idea immediately, and that meant that it is going to work. So we made a deal, which he loved greatly, by the way. Now I jumped out of bed at 5:50 a.m., ran to my computer, turned it on in a great hurry, and rushed to send my little greedy brother his email. He didn't forgive even 1-minute delays. Excuses like my computer crashed or I didn't have internet connection didn't bother him as well. A deal is a deal. That's all he used to say. While performing this morning ritual, I was wide awake and fully alert, and after several months the habit was installed so firmly I didn't know how to get out of it. The reason why we don't usually do something is because it involves some pain. It might be fear, it might be discomfort, it might be inner resistance. The goal with inevitability thinking is to find a bigger pain that would happen if you don't do what you need to do. In my case, getting up at 6 a.m. was painful. But giving my brother $10 for nothing was even more painful. So think about your goal. What are the conditions that you can set in your life so the result you want to achieve would become inevitable? It will happen no matter what. Even if you changed your mind and you don't want to pursue this goal anymore, it would be too late. A word of warning. Often the conditions that come to mind feel uncomfortable. They often hold you accountable. They often feel scary. They often are way out of your comfort zone. The first thought usually is, yes, that would make the result I want inevitable, but I can't do it. What's the fastest way to climb a fence? Throw your hat over it. Even better, throw your purse and your driver's license along. I bet you would set a new world record by climbing this fence over in the shortest time span possible. Throwing something valuable over so you would have to get it is called setting up a condition. And here are some ways to set up inevitability conditions in place. Accountability partners. Have someone to hold you accountable. Mastermind groups. A group of people working together on a common goal can be incredibly powerful. A system of rewards and punishments. You could use monetary punishments like writing a $100 check to a charity cause that you don't support in case you don't do what needs to be done. Public commitments. Announce something and report the progress. Remember that conditions have to be external, so you won't have to rely on your willpower when achieving your goal. The conditions need to be set up only once, and the rest starts happening on autopilot.